Okay, talking about global perspectives and cross-cultural insights, how can Indian mid-sized firms leverage global best practices without losing local context? How do we do that?
I feel that there is a little bit of a myth, and the myth is that in India it is very difficult to bring in, as you mentioned, global practices and to replicate them over here. Now see, I'll tell you. I'll give you a very simple example. You take school children and all from different race, different culture, different religion into one room, and they will probably sit there for the kind of couple of minutes silently, and then they will start playing with each other.
Right.
And this has been experimented a number of times. So it's not something which is a very complex thing. The same thing is about the corporates also. I have not seen so far in my last 25 plus years of journey and having traveled to more than 6 different countries, trained people over there, that there is a huge problem in replicating something that you do over here. Of course, there has to be certain things which has to be done in a customized way.
Right.
And it has to be more specific to the needs of the people in the company. And this is very important. Every organization, every point of time, the needs change.
Right.
They evolve. A certain company 5 years back, the stage that they were into, the needs would have been different. Today the needs would have been different. You need to kind of simple example, you need to kind of develop your managers. For what reason? Because today the people who are managers, probably 5 years down the line, they would hold leadership positions, or they would be given roles to head a certain vertical business or something. So if they are not growing up with the right skills, they will not be able to fulfill that role. And I think the biggest problem that we face when we you mentioned that replicating, is because we feel that we need not kind of do whatever some of these other countries and other bigger businesses are doing, and that actually becomes a little bit of an handicap and challenge over a period of time for the mid-sized organizations or the growing organizations. They in fact should be the ones who should be very aggressively driving transformation, aggressively pushing for change, so that they are able to scale up faster. Otherwise they would remain more or less at that same state of level, and they will not be able to grow.
Interesting.
Yeah. When I was responsible for team development of 42 production sites worldwide, there was an Indian who were packing all the gearboxes into a bamboo transport support measure, and we are all having worldwide the container technology on board. And it was really hard to overcome this. It's just a pattern, we always used to do this, and it's sustainable, and we don't need the metal cases there, and it was really hard to change the thing. And what we did is just think of the other people who are receiving your bamboo thing. What will happen to them? So they changed perspective and position. And then there were the insight, okay, we are not doing it for ourselves. There's a customer, a client who needs it, and who needs it in a special way. You cannot unpack bamboo in Nuremberg, for example. And you can't burn it there. So that's what they learned. They just broadened their perspective. They had a wider range of seeing things, not the 1-2 black white thing, but see, that's a process, and I'm here to play my role, and I must change this to make the client happy, the customer at the end. And that was very successful, to just widen the perspective and see what else is going on with what you do here.
Right. I think a great example for the local context with a global perspective falls beautifully into that. Great. Now, Hans, you've coached organizations across Europe, right? How do you adapt transformation frameworks to teams which are culturally diverse?
Yeah, I just talked about this before, and if I have an example for international group, it's called Forest Stewardship Council. People from all over the world come
Right.
there, and we had the Corona times as well. And how could you bring this team together online? So what we did before the Corona breakout came there, we brought them together from all over the world and made a very private meeting with cooking and communication, very open there. We spent in a wooden environment with a nice house where we could sleep as well. And everyone could bring in his specialty concerning meals, expectations, music. And so we learned each other like a class trip you had in school, where you go to different places, and when you are there, you will find yourself developing different qualities and characterize movements as well. And that's really helpful to experience yourself with others from other continents, other cultures, and to see, yeah, it's working, you can do this. And you need time for this, of course, communication time. And if you have the making friends questions there, how do you celebrate a birthday in your hometown? Or what would you rather be, 80 years old with the body of the 30-year-old, or 30 years with the wise perspective of someone who is 80? So that are really questions you don't ask yourself during a normal lifetime. This is a group experience with presentation times, small group actions that are really helpful to really get in contact with these people.
Interesting. Well, thank you for sharing that, Hans. Anirban, now India versus China, the talent strategy bit. You've written about this. You have an article. What can India uniquely do to position itself as the capability hub for the world?
Yeah, I feel that currently the gap between India and China since mid 80s have become huge. China has very nicely invested in universities and kind of lot of things that should have happened. But I still feel that India has one big strength, and the strength is that, and Hans probably can endorse and comment on that. Whenever I have traveled abroad, I've heard this recently. When I was in Singapore, I met some faculty members, professors who are teaching in different universities, and they said that, Anirban, at the end of the day, India is much more open, transparent, and the very fact that everything that is happening, whatever little is happening, is by and large driven by people-to-people contact.
Right.
And which is a very big strength. This is something that people themselves are driving. It's not opaque. It's very transparent. You can access any information in India. We also, in countries that are say for example, I myself is doing my PhD, and I can access information, and I'm talking very transparently on what my research is all about, where I'm getting the data and all. So this is a very vital factor. And when I see the Chinese model and the Indian model, I feel that what is missing in India is that we do not have a national human resource development policy per se, which is much more holistic. China has in organizational psychology, as I have read, is more like, I would say, is like humans as machines.
Right.
The whole process is aimed towards driving a certain amount of productivity and growth. And once the demographic dividend China starts tapering, you will see more a bigger problem than what is South Korea facing at this point of time. Right. That there is the strength that it has, it will get completely eroded. Whereas in India, I feel that we have an opportunity to scale up our capability, and for that a huge amount of effort is required by the industry and by the lawmaking bodies, governments, everybody. See, I'll be very honest and open on this. I feel that China's productivity levels when it comes to efficiency of people is better at this point of time,
Right.
because of only one reason. Indians are not disciplined. And why is it so? Primarily because the education system does not cultivate a mindset and culture which is to be more driven, self-driven, self-motivated.
Right.
So therefore we are our mindset is still by and large going to be we try to play safe, and that is leading to a certain amount of mediocre culture. Our only focus, if it is to get certain amount of marks and scores and grades in the school and colleges and to pass out, then we will not be able to develop what Hans was telling as a global perspective. Now you also asked me a question about the transformation and
Right.
some of the initiatives that I've worked on the past. And we had to really teach managers geopolitics. We had to teach them economics. We have to teach them various other subjects, behavioral psychology. And the managers ask these questions to us.
Right.
That why have you kept a name of a program as Nalanda, and why have you included law, psychology, economics and geopolitics and all these papers? Because without understanding of the broader picture, you will not be able to kind of make a difference to what actually you are supposed to do.
Right.
Because nobody is going to remain an executive or at an operational level. You have to evolve over a period of time, and that's what is required. So my take on this about the China part is that we have to hugely invest on AI. We have to hugely invest on, look at the number of medals we get in Olympic and Asian Games, and look at the number of medals that they are getting. So what is it that they are doing differently? They are just focusing on training people, developing that skills, which we are not doing. And unfortunately, we have our education system so deregulated, and kind of the thought process of different models of education that are there is so cluttered. I believe that that's what is not giving the desired outcome. And India is a very dynamic. I am very proud of being the fact that I am an Indian.
Right.
And I work as a human resource professional, and that whatever little way I am contributing to my country's growth, and that's something that I see in lot many people. But there is a huge lack of opportunity in terms of, as I mentioned to you, in terms of framework, in terms of institutions backing that up.
Right. Interesting. Hans, now you're of course from Germany, and I'm sure you've had your stints with India on many occasions. What's your take on it when we talk about how can India take advantage and build the capability of its forces right now, of the workforce right now? How can we do that?
Yeah, I will pick up the Chinese perspective as well. What Chinese did perfectly is copying successful concepts, technology, all this. And this is the highest way of appreciation, what they do. They are very good at car producing right now. And they started just from the 0 point concerning this. And to be just aware of where you are right now, and if there is some superior world-class knowledge or behavior in India existing, and you to be proud of this. This is something that is lacking right now. And you do not get this via the Chamber of Commerce Corporation. You must go to the place and must motivate people and improve where they are and motivate them to become world-class as well from their own power. And that is idea finding, that is innovation management, is risk-taking. All this is behind, and to find these qualities in your country, not to be cautious, not to be too passive in many things. That is cultural development you will probably have. There's a difference between Bangalore, for example, where you have the high IT technology development, or the southern part of Goa, where all the yoga people are. So what is really typical for you, and what can you bring out as a surprise for all the others? I think that is a recommendation for the Indian people, to be self-confident if they are world-class, and perhaps you must build another Silicon Valley for quant computers.
We should, absolutely we should, and I think that probably might be in the pipeline somewhere.